The Utah Jazz have a season opener. Let's go ahead and react to that and see what needs to change for the Utah Jazz. If you are part of the 95% of our audience that is not subscribed, please consider doing so. Thank you. Okay, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the Utah Jazz. Season opener was last night to start off the season. So our Utah Jazz did play last night at home, had a home opener, and boy, did they lay an egg against this Sacramento Kings team.
It was really, really tough to watch.
Yeah, and the best part was he was there, folks.
I was there, and it was tough to watch even being there.
Yeah. One downside to this, having your own YouTube channel where you're covering the Utah Jazz, is you can't turn off the game when you stop wanting to watch.
No, sir. No, sir. Yeah, you can't get upset and just turn it off because you need to be able to talk about it tomorrow.
Yeah, I gotta be able to. I absolutely have to be educated to talk about it. So, So let's go ahead and talk about it a little bit about the Utah Jazz here. Obviously, they opened their home season with the new throwback purple jerseys. Which, by the way, did you watch the cute little video? Were you there in time to see the video?
I did. I saw the whole opener, yeah.
The throwbacks and everything like that. That reminded me of my dad when I was a kid back in the day.
It was pretty. I actually like the retro. I like the throwback for the Jazz. I'm not a huge fan of these jerseys. I think they are, but I was a big fan of like the city jersey 2 years ago, the red and yellow and orange and black. And I love those. So
I liked the second version of the city edition jerseys better than the first. But yeah, anyway, so they're 0-1 in these new throwback purple jerseys. What did you see? What's your first reaction out of this game?
My first reaction on this Jazz game against the Kings is the defense looked absolutely horrendous. Just horrendous, dude. I don't know how many open threes the Kings got in this game, but it was a lot. It was a lot. The Jazz just really struggled to cover. I mean, they were sagging off. And my problem with the way that they were sagging off to try to help defense is they weren't actually helping on defense. There's still guys driving down the lane, wide open. It was really tough to watch, man. I mean, just so many open shots.
Yeah, the Kings were 19 for 51 from three at a 37% three-point percentage.
Which is pretty good to open the season.
Which is not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad. Their pace of play makes that really hard to stay in front of, though. So I'm not surprised to see that. You know, they did get beat on turnovers.
Yep, turnovers is actually one of the things on my list, too.
Yeah.
So Chris Dunn he turns the ball over on 28% of his possessions.
Yeah, not good. 4 turnovers.
Yep. Colin Sexton turns it over on 20% of his possessions, and Walker Kessler also turns it over on 20% of his possessions. That is way too many to be successful against a Sacramento Kings team that is pretty good.
Yes.
They looked really good. I mean, they've got Harrison Barnes, they've got De'Aaron Fox, they've got Domantas Sabonis. These guys are looking to make a run in the Western Conference. But this is the team that the Jazz need to be able to run with and go with and compete with because it's still a young team.
Yeah. Harrison Barnes scored the most points he's ever scored in a quarter in his whole career.
Harrison Barnes absolutely went off in this game, dude.
Yeah.
But he had a lot of really open looks. He didn't have to take a bunch of tough contested shots, which is exactly Harrison Barnes' games, dude.
Yeah.
He wants to take open 3-pointers. He wants to take, his mid-range shots from however many feet and get nice, clean, open looks. And that's what he got all game because the Jazz's defense was just not there.
Yeah, he was 5 for 7 from 3, 71% from the field. He had 33 points. He had a plus-minus of 10. Meanwhile, the 3 players that you mentioned were all in double digits for minus on the plus-minus line. So, not good to see. Good to see.
And Domantas Sabonis scores 22 points, and he just looks absolutely unstoppable in this game, dude. I just watching, I would have thought he had 50 because it seemed like every time we missed a shot, he was there, pushed the ball, ran down the field, and just scored it again.
Okay, Sabonis, that was a dirty freaking play, man, that he pulled on Walker Kessler in the opening drive.
Yeah,
where he looked down, knew he had his arm. He had his arm back like that, and he yanked on it and intentionally hyperextended that guy's arm.
Yep,
that is a Bush League play, and you're lucky the rest didn't catch you on that. That's an easy flagrant.
Everybody in the arena saw it.
Yeah, I don't know how they didn't see that. That was just a dirty play.
I was not super impressed with the reffing in this game. I don't know how it looked on TV, but I'm telling you, at the arena, dude, everybody was upset because there were so many things that was just blatantly obvious fouls that it felt like they just were not calling it.
Yeah, for me, that Sabonis one, well, I'm just like, dude, I hope the next time the Jazz play that, somebody lays that guy out and I'm sitting in the court.
I hope it's Kessler.
Because Kessler was shaking his arm for the next 3 to 4 minutes of that game.
He had to come out right after that.
Yeah. I didn't like it at all. I thought that was a dirty play. Shame on the refs for not catching it. Shame on the coaches for not getting ejected for not, I guess you don't want to kick out in the first game, but you should have definitely given the refs an earful on that one for sure. But yeah, they also did get out rebounded, I believe, as well. The team had 45 rebounds, and Utah Jazz had 38 rebounds, which is, I'm sorry, no, they won the rebound battle. They won it 54-45. So they did win the rebound, but a lot of those were putbacks on the missed shots they did in the first quarter.
Yeah.
So I think the key stat for me, though, was assists. And this is something my old man texted me after the game, where he kind of called it perfectly. He's like, this is a team that was not playing together. Very, very raw talent. Not a whole lot of assists, and that's, they did get beat on the assist points. On the assists here in this game. They had 29 assists for the Kings. The Jazz had 22, which I believe is one of the lowest they've had.
Yeah.
In a home game in quite a long time. Not good. Didn't see the ball moving around. Didn't see the blender at all.
Yeah.
Not necessarily Coach Hardy's thing, but
Yeah, but can I tell you the stat that really stood out for me? So I was looking at some of the advanced statistics on cleaning the glass. 38% of the Jazz's shots come from the mid-range. Mid-range is your least efficient shot on the whole floor. Right. So when 38% of your shots come from there and only 27% of your shots come from three, and you only shoot 34% from three, that is a recipe for disaster. You've got to get twos, close twos, short threes. When we're taking 38% of our shots from the mid-range, we don't have any scorers that are that efficient. And that, we don't have Chris Paul.
No.
When you have a bunch of young players that are just taking these mid-range games, dude, you're recipe for disaster.
Yeah, I really definitely I agree, and I definitely want to see the ball move around a lot. There's a whole lot of that collapsing on the defense and getting swarmed, and then trying to get up in the air and kick the ball out to an open shooter. Did not go well for them.
And the Jazz's spacing was really bad in this game.
Yeah,
you'd have a player in the corner and then a player 5 feet away from them, where one guy was just guarding both of them, and the other guy's just sagging in. Attacking the driver.
What do the Jazz do? How can they fix it? How can they turn this around? I know it's early overreactions. We're all, as fans, we're going to have that, but let's take a logical approach to this. How do the Jazz fix this?
I think the number one thing that's going to fix these Jazz woes is going to be people have got to lock down and stay closer on defense, right? They went on a short stint there where they were actually staying with their person. They weren't trying to sag off and help. And I think that's a good problem to have. I think all these guys want to be able to help on the defensive end of the ball, because that's how they know is going to get them on the floor, right? Some of these younger guys know, I've got to be a help defender. I've got to be able to put a hand in the passing lane and, put a hand on somebody if they're driving to the basket. That wasn't, it was just really ineffective help. And that was a problem. So if you can tune up some of that defense, lead to some turnovers and get some easy baskets, that's going to help the Jazz put some points on the board, take a little bit of stress off of some of these scorers, help them get into a rhythm. We all know Jordan Clarkson's a rhythm player, right? If he can get some points, easy baskets, easy layups, off some of these passing lanes and running down the floor, it's going to help Jordan Clarkson be more efficient, because we're going to need him down the stretch.
Yeah, high scorer for the Jazz last night. So,
yep.
At 22, I think, nothing crazy.
He had 24, yeah.
24,
mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, not great. But
Markkanen scores 19. John Collins scores 15. And John Collins actually looked okay, but he looked a little out of sorts on the defensive end. He's guarding players in the corner, which I'm not sure if that's in his realm of comfortability, but that was a really tough game to watch.
15 points, 11 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal. So not necessarily a bad game, but definitely the body language wasn't great for him, for sure. When he was out there. Keep in mind that this is no longer the Rudy Gobert Utah Jazz. This is a team that has a lot of length in the front court, and we need to take advantage of that. When that coverage is, like you mentioned, the coverage, the spacing needs to be a lot better. Spread the floor out on defense. Stay with your man.
I'm not sure if they know what their defensive scheme is quite yet. You know what I mean? Like this previous Jazz team, the scheme was you guard everyone on the perimeter for as long as you can, and if they get past you, you just funnel them into Rudy.
Mm-hmm.
And it seemed like at points there was time where they were trying to do that same thing. Guard him for as long as you can, funnel him into Walker. But the problem is Walker is not a Rudy Gobert-esque defender quite yet. The problem is people passing around Walker. He doesn't have the double jump that Rudy had, that he can still turn and block somebody coming from the backside.
Right.
Walker's not quite there yet. This is a second year, and you're expecting, that's a big ask for a second year player to be able to defend the guy coming at you and the guy behind you.
Yeah, I agree. I think one of the biggest problems the Jazz have right now is there's no defensive identity right now. And on offense, they're not playing together. They're not running a set offense. If they are, it doesn't look like one to me.
I'm curious to see who steps up for the Jazz as the floor general. Who's going to come out and actually lead this team, get them set into offenses. Keontae George took the ball up the floor, and trust me, I'm a huge Keontae George fan, but he'd bring the ball up the floor and he's just dribbling it, waiting for plays to happen. And it's like, no, Keontae, you've got to make a move. You've got to get these offenses into motion.
Right.
You know what I mean? Come call
They're
for a
waiting
screen.
for you. Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody's waiting for you to do something. And he's just standing there dribbling, waiting for guys.
But let us know in the comments down below, folks. Let us know what you think about the Jazz completely laying an egg against the Sacramento Kings. I mean, it's not how you want to start the season off with a home loss like that,
No.
especially that bad. But again, this is a team that is young, that's playing together for the first time against a team that was second or third in the West last year.
I think they were second in the West.
Yeah. So very talented team, and they basically just reloaded from what they had last year. So let us know in the comments down below, folks. Let us know what you feel. Let us know what you think needs to change for this Utah Jazz in order to improve going down the road. You still say it's a playoff team?
Absolutely.
Same here. Go Jazz.
Go Jazz.
All right. We're wrapping it up here for this episode of the DNA Sports Recap. Keep in mind, this is available as a podcast, as a video podcast right here on this YouTube channel. Our only playlist we have is our video podcast. You'll be able to see this full episode in its entirety. Playlist will be on that side of the screen on the end card.
Yep. And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you like it, make sure you share it, and make sure you subscribe. We're on the grind to 1,000 subscribers. Please make sure you guys hit that subscribe button.
Absolutely. Once we hit 1,000 subscribers, we'll be giving away the first $500 that we earn in AdSense revenue back to our subscribers. 5 subscribers will each get $100 each. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on that. With that said, folks, my name is Darren. This is AJ, and this has been the DNA Sports Recap.
Till next time.